Well, I'm thinking about it because it really comes down to the future of the country. I am, like I think most Americans, very discouraged by the course of our government.
So you're considering?
Well, when people ask you over and over again, you have to pause and reflect. So I'll pause and reflect at the right time.
Growing up, I never imagined a little girl from a border town could one day become a governor. But this is America. Y en América, todo es posible.
New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez, Carly Fiorina, and former New York Governor George Pataki, names you may not have heard about as possible considering running for president, but they're being talked about, or at least they're talking about it. Take a long look at this graphic. There are 24 heads on this graphic. All of them are people who have talked about running, said they were considering it, or some people think they're considering running for president in 2016. 24 of them, and this does not include all of them. This is the Republican potential field. We are going to introduce you to a number of them in our presidential profile series that continues this week. We're back with the panel. Mara, when you look at that and you see all these names, and I think there are more that aren't in there, it's really amazing.
It is really amazing. This is a huge, huge field, and it's a substantial field. It's about a lot of senators, a lot of governors. These are real, serious people. This is not, talk show hosts running for president. And there's no clear front runner. I think if Jeb Bush decides to get in, which is a big if, he would be at the top of the heap. He generally polls a little bit better than the rest of them, who are all bunched up together. But the Republican Party in the past has been very hierarchical. They like to give the nomination to the guy whose turn it is, who came in second last time. And that's not really the case this time. It's very wide open. I think it'll be a great debate. They're governors, they're senators, they're Tea Party people, they're evangelicals, they're mainstream establishment conservatives. And I think this will be a great debate about the future of the Republican Party.
George?
Well, anything can happen. We've seen this before. George McGovern was at 3% in January 1972 when everyone knew that Edmund Muskie was going to be the nominee. Didn't happen. Of all the entitlements in our entitlement society, there is none as rock solid as the entitlement of Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada, with 3.8% of the American population, to get this head start. And there's a good side to that, which is that with retail campaigning, a really dark horse can break loose. Does it have to happen? No.
I'm going to put up that 24 shot again, Charles. As you look at those head boxes, do you see people who stand out right now?
Well, I see you in the first debate sweating it.
Well, how do you get on the stage?
I think you got to have the debate in shifts. That would be the only way to do it. No, there are people who stand out. I think when you look at the polls, you get 5 or 6 or 7 who are that much well known. The one advantage here is that there's not going to be any negative advertising or attacks at the beginning, because it would be idiotic to waste your time, effort, or money on attacking when you have a field of 21 or 26 people opposing you. Look, I do think it's going to shake out quickly. You're going to have a huge first debate unless somebody figures out a criterion for deciding who gets in and who doesn't. Obviously, it'll have to be something like a percentage where you are in the polls. There aren't a lot of other criteria other than being arbitrary about it. But I think after 1 or 2 debates, it'll be pretty clear. It'll be a field of 8 or 9 or 10. What's encouraging here is if you compare this to the field last time around, 2012, this is infinitely superior, stronger. There are a lot of people in that graphic who are plausibly chief executives. That was not true last time around. And I think one of the reasons that the field is so large, people have a sense that the Democrats are vastly overestimating the popularity in a general election of Hillary Clinton.
And just so I can answer the email, you're definitively not going to run.
Well, if nominated, I won't run, but if elected, I'll serve. I'm just lazy.
Well, thanks for clearing that up. Mara, Mitt Romney, is he going to get back in this race?
I think not. He has had a nice, flattering couple of months where he's at the top of the polls in a lot of these states. And there is a feeling that he would have made a good president in the Republican Party, and people have been clamoring him to try again, but I don't think so.
Buy that?
I do buy that. Now, if the Republicans want to win, And I think they really want to win this time. They're going to ask one question. Tell me the blue states you're going to flip. Can you campaign in suburban Philadelphia? Do you have a chance of carrying Michigan, Wisconsin, Iowa, Colorado? If they ask that question seriously, it'll winnow that field very fast.
I think one of the reasons he's so high in the polls, particularly, well, even among independents or even some Democrats, is buyer's remorse about re-electing Obama. I think it's more, the pro-Romney vote is more of an anti-Obama vote. Like, I wish I had a second shot at that one. And how did I get it so wrong? I don't think it really is endorsement of him. And it is obviously, a lot of it is name recognition. I think he'd make a good president, but I don't think he'd be any stronger a candidate this time around than he was in 2012.
Jeb Bush, in or out?
I think he's in.
I really don't know. That's the big question, though, the number one question.
I deeply hope he runs. He's a talented man. I doubt that he runs.
You heard it here. Something tells me we'll be putting up that 24 picture many times, and maybe more. Tough part is getting on one stage in the first debate. That's it for the panel, but stay tuned for an adorable and steep learning curve.